All right, I am calling this meeting to order. It is
I don't think it's
currently
recording, right? You got it? Okay, cool. No, I mean,
1 second. Okay,
Can you promote Zena?
I've been,
What?
waiting.
people on Zoom, we good? Give me an indication.
Yep. We're
Okay,
good.
cool. Thank you. All right, thank you for joining us tonight. It's currently 7:34 p.m. on Tuesday, October 8th, 2024, and meeting number 14 of the 14th Assembly is now called to order. Mr. Adam, can you please conduct the opening roll?
I'm
Look at the trigger.
Brown,
Oh, jeez.
Angelica Rivera,
Yeah, Tyler can also do it if you want. And you can record.
Corey Niddle,
Here.
Curtis Hengstrom, Dana Awida, Demi Jardine, Emily Ryan, Eric Vio Jr.,
Emily runs. Emily's here.
Aaron Neely, Hayden Jackson,
Here.
Hira Atma, Jack Brummer,
Here.
Jad Halabi, Jasmine Inside,
Here.
Jessica Rayberg, Joanna Hua,
Here.
Jonathan Dune, Caitlin Carmen,
Here.
Lucas Mitchell Korn,
Here.
Margaret Peterman, Mario Taki,
Here.
Mark Farag, Maya Akiva,
Here.
Megan,
Here.
Michael Lau, Michelle Chow,
Here.
Nadine Alcordi,
Here.
Nate Cohen,
Here.
Nina Clark,
Here.
Yeah, of course.
Nova Brown, Ray Hana, Ryan Schmidt, Sabrina Yu,
I'd assume. Okay. Oh, that is her. Okay, I wasn't sure. Thank you. Yeah, come back to her. Yeah.
Dia Islam, Sean Kelly, Stefan Nielsen,
Here.
Stella Moore,
Here.
Taryn Docklison,
Here.
Tia Berry, Vincent Penty,
I'm here.
Althea Chadwari, Elias Atkinson.
Go back to the room for anyone that wasn't.
Yeah.
Eric Veal, Michael Lau, Sean Kelly, Sabrina Yu,
Here.
Okay, yep.
37 voters pressed three. Sorry.
As we called.
We got it. You're here.
Are we sure about
Is
that?
that how it's 37 or 38? 37. All right, with 37 voters present, we met quorum. I will now read our land acknowledgement. The University of Michigan is located on the territory of the Anishinaabe people. In 1817, the Ojibwe, Odawa, and Potawatomi nations made the largest single land transfer to the University of Michigan, ceded through the Treaty of Fort Meade so that their children could be educated. We recognize the history of displacement of Native communities that facilitated the founding of the university. Because this promise has been largely unfulfilled, we offer this acknowledgement to reaffirm contemporary ancestral Anishinaabe ties to this land, as well as acknowledge the profound contributions of Native Americans to this institution, and we will work to hold the university accountable to the needs of indigenous people. I will now read our labor acknowledgement. The institutions of the United States were built upon the labor of enslaved people. Since 1619, the people of Africa and their descendants have been exploited for their capabilities and have had their dignity and the worth of their lives routinely ignored. Because these crimes against humanity have left an ugly mark on American society even to this day, we offer this acknowledgement of our nation's past as the first step towards a better future. We affirm the value of Black lives and dignity, Black energy and brilliance, and Black contributions to the life of the nation and of the University of Michigan in particular. And we will work to dismantle racism in all of its forms and hold our institution accountable to the needs of the Black community. There, motion from Representative Engstrom.
Yes, hi, this is Curtis. Motion to place business after community concerns with unanimous consent.
There's a motion to move business after community concerns on tonight's agenda. That motion was made with unanimous consent. Is there any objection to that motion? Seeing and hearing none, that motion is made.
Speaker.
Just give me 1 second. Wait a minute. Yeah. All right. Yes, Mr. Engstrom.
Point of personal privilege.
Yes.
This we, according to Pierpont rules, can make it informed to everyone that we have to end this meeting between 9:50 and 10 o'clock due to rules of the Pierpont Conference. Can you make that announcement to everybody?
Yes, understood. We have time restrictions on this room tonight, so we must end the meeting at around 9:50. So please keep that in mind, members of the assembly and members of the community, when we conduct our business tonight. All right. Are there any other motions before I continue? Representative Neely.
I'm sorry, I can't figure out how to turn on the mic. Can you hear me, Mr. Speaker?
I can.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Watt. I move to place the executive and speaker reports immediately before business. Just those two reports.
Okay. There's a motion. Is that motion in order?
It's in order, Mr. Speaker, question and consent.
Thank you, Mr. Watt. There's a motion to move the speaker report and the executive report after community concerns and before business. Is that correct, Representative Neely?
Yes.
That motion is made with unanimous consent. Does anyone object to that motion? Seeing none in person or on Zoom, that motion has passed. It's here. Okay, I'm not going to update it on the agenda right now, but I will remember. Okay, there are no recalls and there are no elections tonight. We have now entered community concerns. Any individuals wishing to deliver a community concern, in addition to those already listed on the agenda, please raise your hand, state your name and your University of Michigan affiliation. Instead of doing that, there is a paper, I believe in the back of the notebook at the middle of the back where the microphone is. So if there's any members of the community right now that are not currently on our agenda for community concerns and they'd like to sign up, please do. Would anyone like to sign up? Yes, there's a notebook. I can't hear you, and also this is not like a question period. So I apologize for that.
Say the list is on the agenda.
Yeah, the list is on the
public
agenda. It seems like a parliamentary occurrence. Representative Oweda. Can you use a microphone, please? Yeah.
Thank you. Point of inquiry.
Yeah.
Can you share the list of names of people signed up for community concerns, please?
The list is on the agenda.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Is the paper back there? Can I get that paper now so I can add anyone that isn't there? And then, okay, without any further ado, we will begin community concern. Actually, I need to know how many people there are before we have it.
You want me to add?
Or yeah, can you add, do you have editing access?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yep, I can do that.
We'll wait a minute. Yeah.
Oh, those are just, this is the one, whatever, everything. I let you know anybody that's looking up. Your goal is also to understand something. So, yeah, just one exercise. Yeah. What's the word of what can be counting the money for everybody else is kind of can be concerned. Sitting living, living in person. Yeah. Let me double check. Sorry. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, should we mostly move some of the top community concerns, or is that just?
It's yeah, you can do it. But
Yeah.
it's unusual.
Yeah, and that was extension meetings.
Okay, this meeting will be called back to order. We have 38 people signed up for community concerns, so each speaker will be given 1 minute and 10 seconds. The amount of community concerns time is 45 minutes, split amongst the amount of people signed up on the agenda. So that will be 1 minute and 10 seconds. Vice President Atkinson.
Can I make a motion to move Professor Gaza to the top of the community concerns? He's a professor at Thursday University, and it's 2:30 a.m. there right now, and he'd like to make a comment.
What is their name? I'm sorry.
It's
Yeah,
yeah. I'll
Do you know what number they are right now?
Is that item X?
I'm not sure.
he's in attending.
Oh, yeah, we're looking.
Also, Mr. Watt is Mr. Atkinson able to make that motion?
Yes, it can.
Oh, yeah. There is a motion to move a community concern speaker to the top of the community concerns. That motion is made with unanimous. Is that correct, Mr. Atkinson? Correct. Okay. Is there any objection to that motion? Once again, moving someone who has a time constraint to the top of community concerns. Okay, seeing and hearing none, they will be moved. Can you move them?
Yep. Okay. Okay, perfect. Yep. And we'll move. Yeah. Then. Yeah.
Okay, while we were waiting for that, Mr. Cameron Kaufman, are you here tonight? Okay.
Oh, well, what? The professor already been promoted.
Okay,
So yeah.
you will be the first person after. Okay. Can I get the name? I'm sorry.
I love that.
Okay. Mr.
Professor.
Okay. Okay, Professor Alza, you have 1 minute and 10 seconds whenever you are ready. Can they speak?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Whenever you're ready.
Good evening.
Can everyone hear them?
1 minute, 10 seconds.
Okay. Yeah, 1 minute 10 whenever you're ready.
Okay, I'm Ala Al-Azza. I'm professor of anthropology at Birzeit University. I'm going to be speaking on behalf of Rebuilding Hope Initiative at Birzeit University. Um, can you hear me? I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, just give us 1 second. We're trying to figure out audio. You're a little quiet. Do we have like a audio? There's not in particular. No. In the back, do you know how to raise the audio? It's a little quiet up here. We can't really hear people on Zoom. Just give us 1 second. I'll put the meeting IDs for 1 minute. We're having a hard time hearing them. All right, Professor Osla, can you give us a little mic test? Try again.
Hello?
In the back, all the way in the back, can you hear? Okay, fantastic, thank you. So we're on the highest possible setting. All right, sorry about that problem. You got 1 minute and 10 seconds whenever you're ready.
Okay. So I'll be speaking on behalf of Birzeit University initiative that's called Rebuilding Hope. It's the initiative to support higher education in Gaza and for universities in Gaza, for students in Gaza. As you all know, or you might know, and since 1 year, Palestinians are subject to an ethnic cleansing and a genocide that's taking place in Gaza. There is an accusation of genocide for the state of Israel. Meanwhile, education is one of the areas that's been subjugated or targeted by the Israeli army. There are 7 universities and 11 colleges that's been completely destroyed. Around 88,000 students are now without education. We know that thousands of them also killed during the raids and the bombardment of Gaza and invasion of Gaza. The Rebuilding Hope initiative that Birzeit University, which is located in the West Bank, undertaking is providing online education for students in Gaza right now. Currently, we finished our first program that enabled 3,000 students to attend our program.
Thank you, Professor. Your time has expired. I'm sorry. There's a motion in the back. By how long? Okay, there's a motion to extend the professor's time by 2 minutes. Is there any objection? Objection noted. We will enter a hand vote. All of those that would like to extend time, please raise your hand now. And on Zoom, please raise your hand. Two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7. Get 5, 6. Okay, 19 in favor, please lower your hands in the placard. All those against extending time, please raise your hand or placard now. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, please lower your hands or placards now. Abstentions. So 19 in favor, 5 against. The professor's time is extended by 2 minutes. Professor, I'll whenever you're ready. Professor, you may continue for 2 minutes whenever you're ready.
Okay. I'll be very short. What I mean, as a Palestinian scholar, and on behalf of my university and the students in Palestine, we see that there is a responsibility, there is an ethical responsibility and ethical obligation from our side as well as international scholars and students to support higher education institution in Gaza, as well as like student to give the students the right to education for Palestinian students as an ethical stand against an unjust war that's been subjugating the Palestinians and for the last 100 years. So I urge all of you to support the initiatives that enable that works to enable higher education and the right to education for Palestinians. Thank you all.
Cameron Kaufman. You have a mic back there? Working mic, is that working? Fantastic. Okay, 1 minute 10 whenever you're ready.
I think. So right now, we continue with our classes, our meetings, our daily routines. No one in Gaza, the West Bank, or Lebanon can continue as normal. Nowhere there is safe from the weapons. Our country and our university builds, funds, and repeatedly sends to Israel. 90% of public schools and all 12 universities in Gaza have been partially or completely destroyed by the state of Israel over the course of this ongoing genocide since last December. The schools that have not been completely destroyed now largely function as refugee camps for Palestinians who were displaced time and time again throughout the past 11 months. And these camps, too, have been bombed mercilessly. As a Jewish person, I have been taught that Selim Elohim, every person is an entire world, and every death is a world extinguished. I grew up learning the values of Tzedek, Tzedek Yirdo, justice, justice you shall pursue. In this fight for justice, I refuse to look away from the thousands of Palestinians ruthlessly slaughtered by Israel with our tax dollars and the complicity of our university. We must do all we can to stop this genocide, and one step our university.
Your time has expired. There's a motion. Yes. Motion to extend them by 30 seconds. Are there any objections? Seeing objections, we will now enter a hand vote. All those in favor of extending time, please raise your hand or placard now. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, 9, 10, 11. Please lower your hands or placards now. All those against extending time, please raise your hand or placard now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Please lower your hands or placards now. Any abstentions? With 11 in favor and 15 against, that motion has failed. Thank you for joining us. Go ahead in the gallery, please. Thank you. We will now move on to Eric Marie. Eric Mirke. 1 minute 10 whenever you're ready.
Can everyone hear me okay? Hello, my name is Eric Mirke, and I'm speaking on behalf of the student organization Friends of Guatemala. I'm here because this classified and current genocide that is going on in Gaza and West Bank, and as we are seeing is extending to Lebanon, is not something that is new in history. And the tools of this genocide in the form of the destruction of schools, and the destruction of educational infrastructure that allows for Palestinian students to have a future, that allows for them to continue in gaining empowerment. These tools of genocide are not something new. In Guatemala in 1960, beginning in 1960 and extending all the way to the 90s, the government targeted several Maya ethnic groups aided by Israel funding. They killed over 200,000 Maya people. They displaced over 1 million. Military soldiers beheaded infants, burned elders alive, and tortured entire generations. But more than that, they burned villages down. They burned schools and they killed the possibility of my children gaining a higher education. I'm here because this is not something new, but the positions that all of you have is something new. The position that you have in allowing this university to support the funding and the rebuilding and the empowerment of Palestinian education is something that you have the right to. You have the possibility to support Palestinians in Gaza. You're the greatest genocide. You have the moral obligation, you have the responsibility.
We'll now move on to Mohit Durrani. Here tonight. Not seeing any in person or on Zoom, we will move on to Anusuya Singh. Sorry if I mispronounced the names. You here tonight? Anusuya Singh. Okay, seeing her and hearing them, we'll move on. Zachary Ray. You here tonight? Zachary Ray. None in person. Any on Zoom, Eric?
No.
All right. Ira Anwar. Ira Anwar. You here in person? Okay, not on person or on Zoom. But Huck. You here tonight? 1 minute, 10 whenever you are.
Thanks, I'm a graduate student in the School of Social Work. I'm here in support of the Rebuilding Education in Gaza Act. While I'm able to attend this university and work at an elementary school as a school social work intern, 100% of Gaza's universities and 90% of Gaza's schools have been destroyed by bombs funded by our tax dollars and tuition money. Approximately 200,000 people have been killed in Gaza since the beginning of the current genocide. 1.9 million have been displaced at least once. The vast majority of people currently alive in Gaza have lost family members. Despite this unimaginable destruction and loss of life and targeted scholasticide, the people of Gaza continue to deeply value education as they always have. Many temporary tent communities have created tent classrooms for children so they can continue learning. My parents and grandparents are survivors of the Bangladeshi genocide, which also included a scholasticide that took 3 million lives with U.S. military support. We cannot continue business as usual while our tuition money and tax money funds genocide. $6 billion of ULM's endowment is invested in companies complicit in this genocide. 440 in operations quite literally believe.
Thank you, your time has expired. Ava, no last name provided. Yep. 1 minute 10 whenever you are ready. You could hold it. One minute.
You are safe. You are educated. You have access to food. You are not under military siege. You are safe. People in Gaza cannot say the same. The ability for us to be in space is a luxury that you should not take for granted. We can pass this measure as one form. As one form of solidarity for people in Gaza. This last year at the university has been one of the most divisive and damaging for the Arab and Muslim students I have ever witnessed. As an Ann Arbor native, I have never felt unsafe in my own town until this past year because of this university's actions and the way they handled certain things. I would like the university to put their pride aside, put whatever they got going on aside.
Time has expired. Thank you. Dylan Cohen. Dylan Cohen, are you here tonight?
Oh, no.
Forgive me if I couldn't hear you, but did you say move Dylan Cohen to the end? Okay, are you making that with unanimous consent? Does anyone object to moving Dylan Cohen to the end of community concerns? Seeing and hearing none, Dylan Cohen will be moved. That's stuff for community. Yes, thank you. All right, we move on to Noah Rotrov. One minute time whenever you're ready.
Hello, everyone. I'm Noah Rotroff. I'm a law student here at the University of Michigan Law School. And I'm also the one who got your judicial review process invalidated. So even though I don't think it, even though it doesn't look like it, I know a little bit about constitutional interpretation. And as much as I'd love to do that right here, right now, in a minute and 10 seconds on why this is constitutional, it's going to be a little bit difficult. But the budget process itself is actually a completely legislative process. There's nothing, you can't bring in the CSG. The executive does play a part, but it actually is completely within the legislative process. So, you can do whatever you want. If you would like to keep the status quo, I'm sure you came to the CSG just to look at last year's budget and then pass the same budget. I'm sure that's why you're all here. You do have a chance to actually do something. And, you know, I can provide legal analysis all day, but it really is simply like your Constitution was made up like 6 years ago or something. So you don't have any case law, you don't have any
Your time has
precedent.
expired. Thank you, Noah.
Do what you want. And like,
There's a
actually have
motion from
something that
Representative
matters.
Wolverine. Ty Templeton, ATAIA Templeton. Alex Sepulveda. 1 minute, 10 whenever you're ready.
Student government was born out of an effort to challenge the university, but before the shut it down party, student government was rolling over to university administration, co-signing, endorsing, and standing alongside the war criminals, the real estate tycoons, the Wall Street billionaires who direct this university. This is because for far too long, student government has not been a place of change, but a house of conformity, fake smiles, and broken promises. The majority of those elected dreamed of only adding a new line to their resume and idolizing a fantasy where they can become change makers in the abstract while becoming best friends with the university administration in the present. I'm looking at all of you guys right now. Yeah. While the shut it down party was elected in a landslide victory as the majority party last semester, everything changed. The shut it down party represented a last resort. There was no transparency, justice, or honor at this institution. The only option for change is to resist the university and be uncompromising. We must not distract from the fact that this university is not a neutral actor. They have continuously pledged their support for Zionism. How do we have members of the CSG Assembly today who posture as being for Palestine, yet continuously align
Thank you. Your time has expired. Representative Yu.
60 seconds.
Motion to extend time by 1 minute from Representative Yu. Are there any objections? Seeing an objection, we will enter a hand vote.
So all we guys ran for students,
Now use me. Hey, we're conducting business right here. That's a warning. If you do it again, you'll be ejected. Okay, all the motion on the floor is from Representative Yu to extend time for the speaker by 1 minute. There was an objection. We will now do a hand vote. All those in favor, please raise your hand or placard now. Extending time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, please lower your hands and placards now. Oh, 8 on Zoom. Yeah. Okay, those against, please raise your hand or placard now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Okay, Yeah, I got it. Okay, 17. Okay, please lower your hands or placards now. Okay, appreciate it. Okay, with 8 in favor, 17 against, this motion fails. Thank you. We'll now move on to Sadia Haidari. You here tonight? At 10 whenever you are ready.
I've always been told that I think that we all know that this attack on schools in Gaza is a deliberate attempt to erase Palestinian culture and history. Education is not some like ladder to political and economic empowerment. It is also cultural empowerment. And we are taking away a normal day-to-day experience from Gazan students. I think that if this is a conversation, we should reconsider, because this resolution should be passed unanimously. Thank you.
Amir Al-Ubaishi.
This is an account from a resident whose case is one of thousands exemplifying the deteriorating and failing educational system in Gaza. As students paying tuition to a university that invests millions of dollars into companies profiting off of Israel's genocide, we are largely at fault. Adia's account will speak for itself. I started my bachelor's degree in architectural engineering at the Islamic University of Gaza in 2021. Everything was going according to plan until October 7th. That day, I was supposed to submit a university project that I had lost a lot of sleep on. The bombing started in the morning, but I didn't pay attention and kept working on the project. I was used to Israeli attacks on Gaza. I had lived through a half a dozen of them. Then I received news that the university classes had been suspended. The next day, on October 8th, I was supposed to discuss a group assignment with 3 other classmates. Instead, I received the news that one of them had been killed by an Israeli airstrike. Instead of finishing the assignment, I mourned my friend. On October 14th, I bid farewell to my home in Gaza City as my family and I fled to Khan Yunis, thinking we'd be safe. I left behind all my study stuff. In Khan Yunis, I dreamed of going back to university. Eventually I did, but not to study. In early December, a mosque right opposite the apartment building where we were staying was bombed by the Israeli army. We got scared and sought shelter in the nearby Al-Aqsa University, taking nothing with us. That night, the building where we had stayed was attacked and destroyed.
Your time has expired. There's a motion. Sorry. 2 minutes. There's a motion to extend time by 2 minutes. Are there any objections? Seeing an objection, we will enter a hand vote. All those in favor of extending time by 2 minutes for the speaker, please raise your hand or placard now. 5, 6, 7, 8. In favor, please lower your hands or placards now. All those against, raise your hands or placards now. Okay, with 8 in favor, 11 against, that motion failed. Thank you for joining us tonight. Once again, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing names wrong. Sukmoni Dra. Sukmani Dra. No. Okay, not speaking for anyone on Zoom. Yeah. Aisha Al Mohammadi. 1 minute, 10 whenever you're ready.
Aisha, the graduate student, auditing the testimony of Sabrine Samara Abu Yusuf, 9 years old in the 4th grade. As students, we were studying and happy. I had friends to play with. I used to go with our neighbors to school. Our parents used to give us our personal allowance to buy things, and at break time, we used to play basketball. When it was time to study, we did so at our class. Teachers gave students who got high marks a reward, and a medal with their name written on it, and this medal took the shape of a star. I got one. I used to do my homework with my mom, and study for tests early so I could wake up early and go to school on time. I led my English class. The teacher would talk to us in English and explain the lessons and games. I wish the war would end and I could go back to school. Now my school is destroyed and I can't learn as much as I used to. My school friends are also displaced from their homes and can't go back to school. I used to dream of becoming a doctor but now the Israeli occupation has delayed my dream. Do not be signed during a genocide. Vote for the budget to rebuild education in Gaza.
I'm too lucky. All right, Janine Al Medini.
It's Janine Al-Medini. I was gonna come up here and talk about a testimony of a Gazan child that can't go to school, but I'm kind of disgusted with everybody here. It's hard to say that I can respect any of you guys as you silence the voices of our students here at Michigan. We are asking you guys to send money to fund education for students that don't have school, don't have colleges, don't have the right that we do here, the privilege to learn, to live, to eat. It's sad. So I don't even think if I read this testimony, any of you guys would receive it.
Frankly, standing here today is embarrassing. Looking at all of you is embarrassing. All of you do not deserve to be here. You do not deserve an education. You do not deserve the right to sit here peacefully, calmly, smugly, and laugh when you hear the stories of our martyrs, when you hear the names of our martyrs, when you see the faces of our martyrs. But still, I'll tell you the story of how the Israeli genocidal entity murdered a 5-year-old a few months ago. On January 29th, 5-year-old Hind Rajab called the emergency line in Gaza and begged to be rescued. For the next 12 days, she sat in a car next to the dead bodies of her 5 family members. For 12 days, Hind's only company was the corpses of her 5 family members. While she sat in this car, she called an emergency line, and this is what she said. That is the voice of a 5-year-old who did not deserve to die. That is the voice of a 5-year-old who deserves to be in school, who deserves to get an education, who deserves to learn, play, and walk to school with her friends. Had she survived, she should have had the right to go to, no, she should have the right to go to school. She should have the right to know, to experiment, to be educated.
The campaign there is nothing who made they object that this campaign should be on the
Don't need the back wheel.
Hello, I'm Tony, and I want to plead with you today to not vote. Plead with you that a vote against the Rebuilding Education in Gaza Act, putting that onto the ballot, is not a vote to support student organizations here. It is a vote for scholasticide. The university administration has already circumvented the will of the people and the will of the student body, and in providing alternative funding for student organizations. So now you have the opportunity to do something bold and transformative, to put something onto the ballot, to put the voice and the decision back in the hands of the people, to allow your student body that you're here to represent to choose on this important issue, and to hopefully result in the funding of the rebuilding of education in Gaza.
Kitty Girogallen, you here tonight? Kitty? On Zoom?
Yeah.
All right, Nora Hilgard. 1 minute,
I'm going to use my time to hold a moment of silence for the victims of the ongoing Israeli genocide in Gaza. Every second of silence in this 1 minute represents over 3,200 people killed. Most of them are women and children. It is revolting that this is a debate. Revolting. Do not be silent during genocide.
She's like Bilha, Sammy.
Now, speaking at the University of Michigan said, you don't get a job done unless you show the men that you're not afraid. If you're not willing to pay that price, then you don't deserve the rewards or the benefits that go along with it. I'm calling on those in this room and in the assembly to not be afraid. The system uses repression against the movement for Palestine, not because they think it will deter the leaders of the activists. It's because they know that it'll scare those on the periphery. It'll scare those who know that they cannot ignore the genocide in Gaza, but are too scared to stand up. Speak up and show up. Their goal is to make sure that you're too scared to rise up because they know that they cannot win against the people united. Malcolm X teaches us that it's necessary. We must pay that price to truly achieve change and show them that they cannot repress us. Don't be afraid. If what they say is legal or illegal, it does not matter to them. They'll call it illegal and throw their full weight against it no matter what. So we must have that fear and fight for what is right. Don't be afraid it will not work. We have been told it will not work from day one, but we keep on fighting because we can't stay silent during genocide. We cannot have fear of administration while bombs fall on the people of Palestine. So we do what we can. We make it work because $500,000 during genocide is worth fighting for. It doesn't matter what they throw against us, what attempts they make to slow us down. We will work, we will adapt, we will fight, and we will not have fear.
That's it. Also, no last name.
Oh, what might be a 21, please?
Sorry. Sorry, motion from Representative Nill on Zoom.
No, I had no motion. I accidentally clicked raise my hand. It's my bad.
All good. Okay, not seeing, I think A is probably Austin. Can you give him permission to speak in?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, you can just
1 minute 10 whenever you're ready.
Yeah.
Sorry, I think I accidentally raised my hand too.
Okay. And we will move on. Helen, no last name. Helen, are you here tonight?
Yeah, probably.
All right. Helen, are you on Zoom? Doesn't look like it. We move on to Ali, Anam. I'm gonna be right.
Forgive me if my voice isn't projecting loud enough. I've had it because I was pepper sprayed by the university yesterday. In the hour or so that we've been in this room, 21 people, if you were to do the math based on the Lancet's conservative estimate, were murdered by the Zionist entity in Gaza. Now, the speaker began this meeting with a land acknowledgement, claiming that We're going to do everything we can to support Indigenous peoples. But if you vote no on this resolution today, you are hypocrites. You are standing in opposition to Indigenous people. You are standing in opposition to people who simply want the freedom to have a right to education as the human right of every single person. Now, the genocide in Gaza began 1 year ago yesterday. And when that genocide began, President Ono sent out an email saying that we're going to continue to work with 5 Zionist universities, claiming that we're going to support their academic institutions, we're going to do everything we can to support them. My question to you all today is, why don't the oppressed have the same right as their oppressor? Why should they have their education degraded? Why should they have their education removed from them and stripped from them and not have the same right to be educated? And so I urge you all to have some moral dignity, have some courage, and vote in support of the Rebuilding Education Gaza Act. Thank you. Alex Richmond.
Oh, yeah. John Godfrey. Yeah. 1 minute 10, whenever you are ready.
Sure. I feel a little bit out of place here. I am a former dean of the Rackham Graduate School, which I reached a bit over a year ago. And I'd like to talk very quickly about something that is related and tangential, and tell you how much I admire your passion and commitment to this truly just cause. So thank you. I want to encourage every student at this university to vote for 2 proposals that are on the ballot this November that will finally give Michigan students the opportunity to vote in the city where they work, live, and study, and contribute so much. Students are systematically disenfranchised from voting in Ann Arbor because the decisive election takes place in early August. In August, there were only 12 votes cast at that polling station for Michigan students. That's one thing. If you want to have your worries, if you're concerned about police misconduct, if you're concerned about tenant rights, if you're concerned about rents, unless you vote, you don't count. So please vote for that. The second thing, we want to introduce the very first campaign finance reform right here in the state to allow ordinary people who don't have networks to big money, PAC money, to have a chance to run for city council like 3 University of Michigan students successfully did in the 1970s. But since then, students have been silenced. Thank you.
I'm having.
What makes our university distinguished is our students who exemplify what it means to be leaders in best. It was the students at our university who first started the concept of teach-ins in 1965, an act of education protest against the Vietnam War. It was our peers who answered the call during the civil rights movement while our administration remained silent. It was our peers who answered the call to amplify the demands of South Africa while our university remained complicit. It was our peers who are remembered and honored in the legacy of our university history. It was them who were defined as leaders in best, as the students who stood on the right side of history, who committed themselves to the betterment of society, that now remain forever ingrained in our archives of justice. As our university is complicit in the deaths of us as students, dentists, professors, engineers, writers, doctors, artists, nurses, lawyers, and pharmacists, let us be the first university whose student body has decided to directly counteract the funding of weapons with the funding of education. Let us be the first university who showed opposition to the funding of 2,000-pound bombs with the funding of literacy. Allow yourselves to be a source of relief amidst the university, our university, being a source of destruction. Just as the genocide in Gaza is the most documented genocide in history, so too are your actions in this very moment. Allow yourselves to be recorded as people who are amongst the ranks of our peers who are not only steadfast in their commitment to justice, but who have the to our mandate. And best.
Representative Rod.
I just start to feel kind of disrespected when I feel like a lot of people talking about people tell a lot of people talking about their experience. I completely understand that we look at the time, we have until 10 p.m.
But there is some situation that we can just hold for a minute until they finish. Something for everyone here. I really want to hear everyone, and we really cannot change the 10 minutes until 10 p.m. Please be respectful for the time. If it's 30 seconds extra, will be fine, but cannot be more than that. Thank you.
To Elijah Kitchens. Give me a time whenever you're ready.
I'm also going to throw away my speech a little bit. I helped write a lot of the things people said here tonight, but I think we just need to settle on what, unfortunately, you guys have the power to do. You guys who have ignored multiple votes by the students that have overwhelmingly voted for the people in this room. But like, it's $500,000 with a yes or a no. It is people who have no homes, no food, no water, no education at all, with a yes or a no. You, no one else. You cannot be accountable to anyone else for this. No one is telling you what to do. You have to be accountable with what is in your humanity and with what is in your soul, with the discomfort and fear you are feeling right now. And you have to click yes or no. And you have to go home and go to sleep knowing that no one else told you what to do. We are imploring you, but there's no one saying this or that. There's no one, like, I wish that the people who have clearly demonstrated what side of history they are on have the opportunity to have a voice in this. But unfortunately, it is you. And so please, just think for a second, take a second, listen to what people are saying, listen to the experiences, listen to the names of the martyrs,
Time has expired.
and, fucking vote.
Big Wong, you here tonight? One minute time whenever you're ready.
I just want to start by saying it's ridiculous that you guys don't know how to pronounce the names of members in your assembly. Megan Dodbalpur is an LSA representative, and you have never pronounced her name right. It's Megan Dodbalpur. Yes. And today you also mispronounced Alifa's name, and they're literally your president. I can write these out for you phonetically if you guys need, but just let me know. Anyways, it was just released that Ona believes he should be doing more to combat Islamophobia on campus, but his hands are tied by people more powerful than him because he fears losing their funding. It's clear that the president of our university does not care for his constituents and once again continues to prioritize profits over people. CSG, however, is led by a president that actually cares about the people. Our petition received all the signatures needed to make it to the assembly in a matter of 4 days or so, and it goes to show the power of the people and that students actually care about this. Many of you joined CSG to make an actual difference in people's lives, and you have the opportunity to do so now. Palestinians are being murdered every day, and have been for the past year, and have been for nearly a century now. Every single person in this room, in this country, is complicit in this, and you guys are contemplating whether or not we should send reparations to the people our country is currently genociding. Do you think you are more worthy in this education, more worthy of having a normal life? Use your privilege for actual good. Not voting for the Rebuilding Education in Gaza Act would be following in the footsteps of a Islamist university and upholding its complicit culture. Legality should not be a region out of justice. Not see our CSGs so student life, and I hope that you do. You are a spineless little loser, and you don't care about how things.
You're ejected. Please leave the meeting. Kristen Hayden. Kristen Hayden. On Zoom? No. Simru Bose. One minute and whenever you're ready.
It's Simran Bose, thank you. There's a common line. What would you say when your children or grandchildren ask you if you were complicit in the current genocide? or if you are on the side of justice, refusing to allow the normalization of genocide, domicide, the mass destruction of homes, ecocide, the long-term damage of the environment, herbicide, the demolition of entire cities, scholasticide, targeted attacks on places and systems of education. The list goes on. Instead, I prompt you, why wait 40 years for your kids to ask you if you had a spine, if you had a sense of morality? Ask yourself now, am I doing everything I can in the name of solidarity, in the name of resistance? Am I doing anything? You, the elected members of the esteemed central student government, have the opportunity to send $440,000 actual money that will have material effects on actual people. So don't wait until you regret it in the future. Do something now. This is what literally everybody in this room is imploring you to do. And that's all I have to say. And you may eject us from this room, from whatever, this institution, but understand that we are also rejecting you from this community if you fail to sadly conjunct with the people that you are. Thank you.
Once again, sorry for pronunciation. Almio Azad.
Okay, I would like to use my time to read a statement from Wanda Hillis, whose picture I am holding here. She's 9 years old in grade 4. Before the war, I used to study and I used to get prizes when I got high grades. My teacher used to appoint me as the class leader to organize the class in her absence. I had friends who played with each other and studied at the schoolyard during exams, but now my friends and I no longer meet, including those who traveled for medical treatment, those who remained besieged in the north and were not displaced with us to the south, and those who were martyred. When one of my teachers would be absent, we used to take a sports class instead or an extra class in another subject. The most beautiful activity was going on trips. I used to buy things for the trips and go to the park. The teachers used to gather us to play skipping rope and hopscotch and do competitions. When we would finish up final exams, we used to celebrate with friends at school to celebrate the start of the summer leave. I wish I could go back to school. We used to spend the best of times there. I want to learn like other children to fulfill my dreams. The only thing that I would add is anyone who opposes the acts to rebuild education in Gaza, there is nothing, not the millions dedicated to your education already, that can teach you how to grow a spine, that can teach you about human empathy or liberation. So support this act while you have the chance today.
Loudon David. 1 minute, 10 minutes.
This is Anas, age 11. All I ask is that you look at him whose future you will vote against. When I enrolled in school, I was young. Over the years, there were teachers who taught us, gave us assignments and tests. There was an Arabic teacher and an English teacher. When I was in the 6th grade, we had new teachers. And when we were sent to a boys' school, in the sports class, we would play football with a teacher, and when we had a test, I would study after school and take a break. I used to play with my teachers and go to school with them, and when one was absent, we would give them the assignments and tell them that if there were new tests, which were assigned by the teacher. I was my sports teacher's favorite and was the class leader, and sometimes I walked back home from school with my sports teacher. We were displaced from the north to the south in Al-Nusayrat, and I am far from my school. I saw my teachers at the checkpoint, and they told us that the school had been bulldozed by the Israeli army. When the war is over, I'll go back to my school and finish my education after it's rebuilt. Please do not be silent during a genocide. Vote for the budget to rebuild education in Gaza.
Levi? Levi?
I don't know if there's nobody.
1 minute, 10 minute viewer.
Yeah, my main name might have been difficult to read, but it's Pierpont, like Pierpont Commons. I'm an LSA student. I'm an Air Force veteran. And after 3 years of so-called service in the military, I separated as a conscientious objector. I realized that even if I did not have a direct role in Indian killings, I was complicit in a system that existed to take life to further the state's imperialist, capitalist agenda. Today, as people who live in this country and benefit from its genocidal exploits, We should not be able to live with ourselves. We should not be able to sleep at night if we are not standing against the systems of oppression and doing whatever we can to help our siblings under siege in Palestine and Lebanon. In August, I stood at the border of Gaza and I heard the blast myself. I met families of some of the thousands of Palestinian hostages being held by the occupation in prisons where they are tortured. Make no mistake, it is our money, it is our missiles, and it is our apathy which caused this destruction. You are not separate from that. Your comfortable existence is dependent on the continued oppression and massacre of millions. Wake up, do something.
The next atonement is near.
Mark, otherwise? Mark?
Hello. Many of my friends here spoke about the moral implications of your vote today, but I want to talk about how this vote can actually help people here on campus in this community, which is a lot of selfish people here that way. So I'm an RA, a residential advisor in our dorm communities in the Global Scholars Program, which is a diverse multicultural community in North Quad made up of international and transfer students. As an RA, I'm responsible for the well-being of dozens of students. It's supposed to be their resource on campus life, their shoulders lean on after a stressful day, even a first responder when emergencies occur in our dorms. But over the past year, so many of my conversations with my residents have been dominated by one thing, the genocide in Gaza. Instead of giving campus study recommendations, I miss that comforting residents because campus police brutalized them while protesting, or they banned their friends from campus. Instead of helping us cultivate inclusive communities, the university has actively targeted my community by funding Israel's current slaughter in Palestine and now in Lebanon. Despite many of your personal ambitions to use student government as a resume booster on your way to a finance job or to the State Department, never again will all of you have another opportunity to directly change so many lives and rebuild the schools that our university has destroyed. By doing this, by passing this initiative, you will actively rebuild Gaza and you will help heal the irreparable harm that this university has done to our communities. Thank you.
No.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وإذا قيل لهم لا تفسدوا في الأرض قالوا إنما نحن مصلحون ألا إنهم هم المفسدون ولكن لا يشعرون. I have just read to you a verse from the Quran. Perhaps it will be of benefit to you to understand. And when it was said to them, do not cause corruption on earth, they say, we are but reformers, we are but good doers. Unquestionably, it is they who are the corruptors, but they don't perceive it. The bombs dropped on Gaza are provided and made here in the US. And this institution, Western institutions, which include this university and the student government, are part of those institutions which legitimize it and support it. And so it's not an issue about divisiveness. Genocide of my brothers and sisters is not about divisiveness. It's not a divisive issue. It's a moral issue. The moral, like morals, ethics, consciousness. I hope that's simple.
Thank you.
Anyone coming? Anyone coming? One minute time whenever you want.
Hello, my name is Dylan Cohen. I feel that I'm Jewish. Apparently, people care about that. I want to speak about privacy, and then I want to speak about simplicity. When shutdown initially announced platforms, detractors came up and complained about how we weren't using the powers used to progress our movement. Nevertheless, we won. Students came out in droves to support shutdown,
the greatest activation of the student body for CSC I have ever heard or seen. If you support the alternative budget, know that there is a movement behind you. Now that we are taking our power to CSG, our contractors come back out. We're doing exactly what they said we were supposed to do. And still, we're not good enough? How short-term is your memory? This is like the greatest thing that I have ever heard of student government ever possibly vote for the alternative budget. And then of complicity. To stand by, to continue business as usual, it's the same to colonizer. I cannot believe we are holding these tedious, pedantic meetings. I want to finish with Aimé Césaire, a quote from his essay, Discourse on Colonialism. He said, "The proof is that at present, it is the indigenous people of Africa and Asia who are demanding schools, and colonialist Europe which refuses them." That is the African who is asking for ports and roads, and colonialist Europe, which is cheap on this score. That is the colonized man who wants to move forward, and the colonizer who holds things back. Thank you for joining me.
That is the end of community concerns. We will now move on to reports, starting with the executive report. President Chowdhury, do you have a report?
Said what I was going to say, but I don't know. I spoke to so many of you, and you brought forth so many concerns, but all of them feel so shallow compared to what this money could be doing. And it could be sending $440,000 to Gaza to rebuild educational infrastructure. I don't know what we're debating, quite frankly. The other budget provides money to student orgs that are already being funded by the Dean of Students' office. If it's the legality of it that bothers you, then we're supposed to break unjust rules. That's our moral responsibility. And also there's a bunch of lawyers waiting to help us out. I don't know why you can't be just a little braver and a little bolder and just vote with your conscience and try your best. Who cares if the administration retaliates? They do that to us all the time. We show up day in, day out, fighting because we believe in ourselves, we believe in the cause, we believe in the movement. People in here have been imploring you to vote for something substantial, something bigger than just yourself. And I know people don't like it when they're called Zionists or selfish, but when you actively stand as a roadblock to this much money going to a cause this great, I don't know what else people would call you. I don't know. I also don't know what we're debating. We're debating okay, let me get this right. We're funding. There's funding Gaza in schools. The professor in here came. He kind of just begged you students, 18-year-olds, 20-year-olds, to fund this program. So that's one. You know, you're rebuilding infrastructure. You're helping build schools for the testimony of the kids that people just talked about. And then there's two, which is keep going as usual. Normalcy in the face of genocide. Why would you choose that? What are you doing? What are you furthering? I think everybody comes in here saying they want to make change, they want to do this, they want to do that. This is the opportunity. Why aren't you taking it? Oh, I don't have anything else to say. Just vote. Vote rightly. Vote with a conscience. Please.
Do any members of the assembly have any questions for the president? Seeing and hearing, I'm sorry, Representative Akmal? Yeah. Yeah, if you want to move that mic by you now, since we don't have any more community concerns.
Wasn't there like a sign up sheet where?
Yep.
Yeah, they always.
Yeah, we got them all on,
towards
yeah.
the end, like the last 5 people.
Yeah. 5 people.
I think that's.
5.
Starting the sheet, right?
5 people signed up.
He asked at the start of community concerns, did anyone want to sign up? And then when we started community concerns, that was the end of it, and 5 people signed up. Okay, well, that's not true because I added all the people who signed up from yesterday up until 7 p.m. But I'm also not taking questions from the community right now. You're not a member of the assembly. Your sponsor representative Mall.
He missed the slot. I'm sorry, he missed his slot when he offers, and it doesn't make
Yeah.
it doesn't say.
If you missed your slot when it was called, we've already moved past community concern. We've already started a report and we're moving on to the second report. So we can't go back and restart community concerns, unfortunately.
We're saying that they signed up and they weren't able to speak. Why can't we vote on whether or not we allow them to speak?
Because we've already moved past community concerns, and if they weren't here when the name was called. Well, we called everyone on here. It's on the agenda. Okay. Well, we've already moved past this, so I'll continue with the speaker report. So there are 4 current vacancies, 2 in LSA. Representative Akmal.
It's in order of our unanimous vote.
Okay, it's in order they would require unanimous vote. So can you repeat your motion? I'm sorry?
To like not. So
No. It's required for this type of motion.
I still motion for to repeat that. Satisfying.
Okay, there's a motion to move back to community concerns on the agenda. That motion is made with unanimous consent. Does anyone object to moving back to community concerns? Seeing no objection, that motion fails. We'll now continue with the speaker report. We have 4 current vacancies, 2 in LSA, 1 in dentistry, 1 in Ross. Other updates, you could refer to the report. There will be no meeting of the assembly next week because of fall break, so don't show up on Tuesday the 15th because none of us will be there. And we also have 12 pieces of legislation currently in circulation. 2 of them are still in resolutions committee because they failed to consider them at the last meeting, and we also have 2 petitions. I hope you guys have had a chance to look at them, as well as 2 constitutional amendments, CA 001 and 002. With that, I will save time. Does anyone have any questions for me on the speaker report? Or is that President Chowdhury?
Is there a reason why the list of people who are supposed to speak on community concerns wasn't made public like before, like a minute before the meeting, even though
that's
2 days ago, and then we asked again, and then people also asked. It wasn't hard. We reached out using Slack, we reached out using text message. I even called you. You didn't pick up. Is there a reason that happened? I don't understand.
So that's inaccurate. The list was posted. Yes, it is. You could look on version history and you could get it bluntly there, unless you think Google Docs is lying to you. Okay. Just members of the community, we continue outbursts during our meeting. You're going to get ejected. So you can, if you'd like to continue to stay in this meeting, that's if you don't do that. In response to President Chowdhury, number one, I don't have to tell you about my life. I was busy. I had stuff to do. And number two, the names of community concerns are not posted in the before. So seeing no questions on the speaker report, we will move on. We will now move on to business. Representative Reparation.
a motion on the floor for business to move into closed session.
Yes, Mr. Watt, what is the requirement for that motion?
Requires a second, Ms. Doris.
I'm sorry.
Requires a second, Ms. Doris.
Okay, is there a second to enter closed session? There's a second. We will now do a hand vote. All those in favor of entering closed session for business, please raise your hand and placard now. All right, please lower your hands and placards now. Yeah. All those against, please raise your hand or placard now. In favor, 10 against, we will enter closed session. This meeting is at ease for 2 minutes. Mario. Sorry. Huh? So what do we have to do?
Oh, ideally we have to make it.
Oh, thank you. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Nope. We can play. Mario, walk away. Okay, how do we get a Zoom started? I'm out.
So I mean, ideally we need to, have a way to kick everybody out. I mean, we need a way to know for a fact you are for the same thing. If you're if they press it down and they
Oh wait. Pass my mic. Yeah, someone pass my mic.
Mic, please. Yeah.
Hi, Zoom people. Just so you know, we're gonna have to end this Zoom and start a new one. So we just want to make sure you understand. So we're gonna end this one and then we're gonna restart a new one for you all to join. Okay? Thank you so much. Please hold on with us for a second. Thank you.
People on Zoom, can you give me a confirmation that you can hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay, sounds good. All right, I will call this meeting back to order. We will now consider F24001. Tyler, is the ballot ready?
Ballot's ready, sir.
Okay, the voting period, just for everyone, we're voting on F24001, the Wolverine's Budget Act. And I will allow 3-minute voting periods starting now. Vote.umich.edu. Please let us know within the time period if your ballot does not work. Otherwise, we cannot help you after the time has expired. 3 minutes starting now.
The ballot's not working for me. It's just like the ballot and you can't really click on it. I don't know if it's just me, but
let me know if that works. That's all it.
It's good now. Thank you.
Yep.
Is it working? Yep.
Yeah. Does anyone have a timer for 3 minutes? Just wait. Oh, yeah. 2 minutes. We're almost done. That's right. Yeah. I know we.
So speakers, you're gonna carry this laptop away. Big moment.
There is 2 minutes remaining in the voting period. 2 minutes are remaining in the voting period. Yes.
One minute is left, 1 minute left to vote.
So your job will be to look at the number and make sure that Mario says I'm going to sleep. And then it's so with the selection results, we'll carry that over to Mario.
30 seconds, 30 seconds left to vote. 30 seconds.
And then sit back. You can decide if you're there. Okay. So there's Thank you. You're welcome. You can say that now if you want to.
Time is up. Thank you for voting. Time is up. Thank you.
All right, the vote on F-24-001 has expired. I appoint Towers Aiden Burke and Beatrice Hunt to, be tellers. Budget act was 21 in favor, 15 against, and 0 abstentions. The petition passes. With the, yes, Representative Vanderhorst.
I motion to adjourn meeting.
Okay, there's a motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, seeing motion to adjourn, does anyone object to adjourning this meeting? Okay, seeing objections, we will now do a hand vote. All of those in favor of adjourning the meetings, please raise their hand or placard now. Yeah, this is in favor of adjourning. Please raise your hand or placard now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yeah, no, I know we're voting.
Representative Peter.
So is the motion to adjourn being made because once this petition, because it has been passed, the next petition, if also passed, would be voided because the first one passed first? I just want to make sure I understand why this is happening.
Sure, I'll provide some context. So, I don't know what, you can make a motion to adjourn the meeting for any reason. We do have to end the meeting in 8 minutes, or wrap it up soon because we'll get kicked out. But besides that, because F-24-001 passes, F-24-002 is out of order.
That's just what my question.
It is not out of order, Speaker. It is not out of order. We still.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's not out of order. It's not. I will continue the meeting. Thank you, Stuart General Counsel, for clarifying that. But does that answer your question, Representative Peter?
Yeah.
Okay. There's still a motion to adjourn on the floor. We will redo the vote. Those in favor of adjourning, please raise your hand or placard now. Hey! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, please lower your hand or placard now. Those against adjourning, please raise your hand or placard now. Against adjourning has it. We will continue to be. We will now consider F-24002, the Gaza Reparations Act. Does anyone object to the passage of this petition?
Can we motion to do it in secret ballot? Again, or no?
Howard. We don't have, I'm sorry, can you repeat your question?
Can we do it, can we motion for secret ballot?
Because we did it for the first one, so I'm just asking if we're doing it for the second one. Or no?
Well, for the current motion is to pass it by, like, when we consider business, we first have to ask if anyone objects to passing it, and then if there is an objection, we enter debate.
I told, like, that was just my question.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay, so the motion on the floor is for F-24002, the Gaza Reparations Act. Does anyone object to the passage of this petition? Seeing an objection, we will now enter debate. Does anyone wish to speak for or against the petition? Representative Engstrom?
There you go. Motion to previous question.
Okay, there's a motion to end debate on the petition and enter a vote. Does anyone object to ending debate? There's an objection. We will now take a hand vote. Okay. All those in favor of ending debate on the petition, please raise your hand or placard now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Okay, those, please lower your hands and placards now. Those in favor, those.
Can I
Those.
withdraw my objection?
Yes. Okay. So the motion passes. We will motion to the previous question. We will now consider the passage of F-24002. Does anyone object to the passage of this petition, F-24002? Seeing an objection, we will now enter a roll call vote.
There's a motion, Mr. Speaker.
Yes.
Motion to vote by secret ballot.
Okay, there's a motion to vote by secret ballot on the petition. Does anyone object to the motion to vote by secret ballot on the petition?
Why can't we see how you vote?
Representative Brummer, is that an objection?
No, sorry, that was a previous.
Seeing and hearing no objections, we will now enter secret ballot. We will now vote on the petition F-24002, the Gaza Reparation Act, by secret ballot. Mr. Watt. Okay, I'll put the meeting IDs for 3 minutes while we get a ballot ready. We have like
I let me get this question. I'm gonna get this down so you can get off.
No, it wasn't very good. I just want my well, after this, I feel cold.
Me too, I scheduled that. Are you ready? All right, I will call this meeting back into order. The ballot is ready to vote on F 24002, the Gaza Reparations Act. Please vote at vote.umich.edu. I will open the ballot now and the voting period will be 3 minutes. Please let us know if you're having any problems. Tell us while the voting period is active. That period starts now. 3 minutes, vote.umich.edu. Yeah. Thank you. Like directly after this, like
2 minutes remaining.
Yeah. Go for it. Yeah. Members of the assembly, I'm going to ask to start. If you all can start packing up a little bit. This will probably be the last thing that you consider because they're in the case.
1 minute remaining.
Yeah, 1 minute remaining on the vote. But if you all could just like get situated, because we're going to motion to adjourn. Thank you. Right after the best. Yeah.
30 seconds remaining.
We're at 38 after 30 seconds.
Nice try. It's funny how all these things like this.
Time's up.
Voting period has expired. We will now read the vote on F 24002, the Gaza Reparations Act. Okay. F 24002, the Gaza Reparations Act with 22 against, 16 in favor, and 0 abstentions. The petition fails.